Hi everybody, welcome to Tech Growth Stocks channel. Today I present you a new episode. Specifically, I will give you 5 top space stocks for April 2021. So these are the top space stock picks and they have good growth and have good momentum as well. And overall, the space theme is an exciting theme with a high potential for strong price increases going forward. So I think it definitely pays to watch that video until the end with me and have a look at all of these strong flying space names. Okay, so before I start right off with the first stock, I have to make a short disclaimer. This video does not constitute financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only, so please consider that. And also one more quick note, please subscribe now to my channel with a link in the description below and hit the notifications bell so that going forward you do not miss part 2 of the top space stocks, which I will be releasing soon, and also so that you do not miss my upcoming market leading stocks. And so please subscribe now. Okay, so that was it for the intro. So let's start right off with the first top space stock. And as you can see, it is WKHS, Workhorse. Here you can see the long-term chart of Workhorse. And as you can see, from let's say around end of 2016 until December 2018, we had a downtrend in Workhorse, and then we reversed from that low end of 2018, traded higher, and formed a nice and strong uptrend since then. And we can see as well last year in that uptrend, we had a Corona breakdown in Workhorse, but we could make the low together with the overall market in March 2020, and we reversed from that low, traded to the upside, and continued with that nice strong uptrend in Workhorse. And you can see as well, recently we came back in Workhorse as well with the overall, let's say, tech pullback. We came back in Workhorse as well. So I think currently we are trading very cheap for such a strong stock. High performing name, high flying name, high growth stock. So I think that current entry level is very attractive for Workhorse. And when we look at the growth characteristics, these are excellent as well. The EPS growth is super strong, and so is the sales growth. And the relative strength rating, it's very good as well with 95, or it's excellent. So I think with these characteristics, Workhorse is definitely a top space stock for April 2021. Okay, so that was it for Workhorse. So now let's have a look at the next top space stock, and it is DE, Deere. Here you can see the long-term chart of Deere, and as you can see, we have been moving sideways here for quite some time, let's say from 2012 until, let's say, around November 2016. Then we could break out of that sideways moving phase and develop a nice and very strong uptrend until, let's say, around February 2019. Then we had a sideways moving phase as well, and we had a breakdown last year in that sideways moving phase here, and we made the low in March 2020 together with the overall market, and then we reversed from that low and we formed a nice and very strong uptrend since then in Deere. And in the short-term chart, you see that strong uptrend, very strong uptrend, and you see here we have nice bounces of these moving average lines. For instance, here we had a nice bounce of the 50-day, the lowest line here, average line. And we just prior to that, we had here a bounce of the 30-day moving average, here a bounce of the 30-day moving average, the orange line. Again, here, bounce of the 30-day moving average, the orange line. Again, a bounce of the 30-day moving average. And recently we came back to the 20-day and we had a bounce again. So we just had a bounce. So I think from a technical standpoint, Deere is looking very good here. And when we look at the growth characteristics for Deere, these are good as well. The EPS growth is strong with plus 71%, and so is the sales growth with plus 9%. And the relative strength rating, it's It's okay. It's not the strongest, but this is overall for many like these base stocks. These don't have the strongest relative strength rating because some of them are way early in their runs, but they have high potential. So the relative strength rating is 77. So I think with these characteristics, still there is a good space stock for April 2021. Okay, so that was it for here. So now let's have a look at the next space stock. And it is a semiconductors company. It is TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing. So, I mean, these semiconductors are in highly need for these space stocks as well. So, and when we look at the long-term chart for Taiwan Semiconductor, I mean, you can see, I mean, we have been in a long-term uptrend. I mean, now a way long-term uptrend, strong uptrend for Taiwan Semiconductor, and the overall semiconductor space or sector has been a way strong performing sector over the recent 5 to 10 years, or 10 years, way strong performer. I mean, the semiconductors, I mean, we know that they are in need, they are in high need, high demand. We all need these semiconductors and chips and so on. So, I mean, I think still that theme will continue. I think that semiconductor space will continue going higher and higher with all this digitalization efforts. And yeah, here in the space sector, they are in need as well. And Taiwan Semiconductor is a strong player in that field. And here in the uptrend, you see, for instance, here a strong uptrend, then a consolidation phase here, breakout in, and then here we had a breakdown. This was the Corona breakdown. We made the low in March 2020. We reversed and we could continue with a very strong uptrend, and we had an acceleration to the upside for Taiwan Semiconductor as well. Short-term chart, we see that acceleration, and here short-term base breakout again, trading higher and higher. And yeah, recently we came back in Taiwan Semiconductor as well with the overall market, but we looks like we had a bounce or a little bit below the 100-day moving average here, the green line in the long-term chart. And yeah, just on Friday, you see in the short-term chart, we had a nice gap up in Taiwan Semiconductor. Looks like now soon we could leave behind the tech pullback. I think overall the tech pullback, we can leave it behind quickly, because when the last trading week, many of the tech stocks reversed over the last 2 or 3 trading days heavily and had strong upside moves, 10%, for instance, had a couple of 10% moves, many of these stocks. And Taiwan Semiconductor here had a nice bounce as well. So I think from a technical standpoint, the current prices are attractive for a position in Taiwan Semiconductor. And when we look at the growth characteristics, I mean, these are good as well. The EPS growth, it's strong with plus 39%. And so is the sales growth with plus 26%. The relative strength rating, it's not currently not the strongest, but we are just coming from a pullback. So I think still with 76 for the relative strength rating, I think still Taiwan Semiconductor is attractive, and I think it's a good stock for the space theme. So I think it's a top space stock. Okay, so that was it for Taiwan Semiconductor. So now let's have a look at the next top space stock, and it is SPR, Spirit Aero Systems. Here you see the long-term chart of Spirit Aero Systems, and as you can see, I mean, we had here sideways moving phase from 2018 until, let's say, the start of 2020, and then the Corona breakdown came with a strong breakdown in Spirit Aero Systems, very strong breakdown. We could not really recover after we had the Corona relief rally. We could not really recover in Spirit Aero Systems, but let's say around November last year, 2020, then we finally could have a small breakout, and looks like we are now building an up move in Spirit Aerosystems. Looks like we are having a nice up move now in Spirit Aerosystems. And in the short-term chart, I mean, we see that nice up move which began, as said, in November 2020. Now we are developing an uptrend here in Spirit Aerosystems. And when we look at the growth characteristics for Spirit, I mean, these are sluggish. The EPS growth, it's minus 378%, and so is the sales growth with minus 57%. And the relative strength rating, it's also not the strongest. It's 74, but as said, many of these space stocks, all of them, most of them, don't have strong relative strength ratings because I think it's still early in the space theme run. So I think we have to live with that. But I think they have huge potential, these space stocks. So it would not concern me too much with a low relative strength rating like these if you are into space stocks. And so I think Spirit Aerosystems is also a good space stock for April 2021. Okay, so that was it for Spirit Aerosystems. So now we come to the last top space stock for today, and it is TRMB, Trimble. Here you can see the long-term chart of Trimble, and as you can see, I mean, we were moving sideways here for quite some time. Do you see that line here around $40, $45? I mean, you can see quite nicely. We could not break above that line, and we moved sideways here. Here we could not break out, here we could not, here we could not, here we could not, and last year in August we could break out above 45, develop a nice strong uptrend here. And we see as well, just prior to that, we had the Corona breakdown and made a big low in the stock around $22, but we reversed from that low, traded to the upside, and traded higher and higher, and now we are trading at $80. So we had a quite nice move from the lows. And when we look in the short-term chart, I mean, we see that up move, and we see as well here, for instance, we had a nice bounce of the 100-day moving average. We bounced off it and traded to the upside. So a nice supporting line, the 100-day moving average. And again, here we had nearly a couple of bounces here, close to the 50-day, bounce to the upside, traded to the upside. Here, bounce of the 50-day, we traded to the upside, and just recently, can you see it? I mean, here we just bounced off the 100-day moving average again, and we broke out strongly in Trimble. It's a strong sign. We broke out quickly. After the tech pullback, we rallied and we broke out, and it now looks like Trimble wants to go higher and higher. And when we look at the growth characteristics for Trimble, I mean, these are not the best. The EPS growth is a little bit sluggish with minus 13%, and the sales growth it's plus 1%, and the relative strength rating it's 77. But still, with that strong of a breakout and a nice uptrend, I think Trimble is definitely a top space stock for April 2021. Okay, so these were the top space stocks for April 2021 for today. I hope in that video are some nice space stocks for you which you can use for your research. And also please subscribe now to my channel with a link in the description below, and hit the notifications bell so that going forward you do not miss any market leading stocks from me, and also so that you do not miss part 2 of the top space stocks which I will be releasing soon. Okay, thank you for watching that video, and I think this year will be an exciting stock trading year, and at the end of the year I think we will see higher stock prices, because with this massive liquidity going on around the world from all of these central bank and governments, I think it will flow into the stock market, and especially it will flow into high growth names and into the best stock themes like the space stock theme. So I think at the end of the year we will have higher stock prices, and I think it definitely pays if you do your research this year and have a look at the best stocks and select the best stocks for your portfolio. And if you need some stocks ideas for that, feel free to come back to my channel and have a look at my stock ideas. Okay, so thank you for watching that video, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.